Alright, Bismillah, walhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. My name is Randy Fouse, and we're here again for some of the beginner foundation classes in morphology. In video number 4 of the beginner foundation series, I told you that was the last video, and then after I finished recording it, it dawned on me that we needed a little bit of practice applying some of the skills that we talked about. So what we want to do is, in this first video, or in this 5th video actually, we want to take some verbs different from the ones that we used before, and we want to take them through each of the forms that we talked about for the 3-letter root-based verb, and then we want to see how the meanings change and see what they mean. Yeah. In a later video, which will be video number 6, we want to look at a chapter of the Quran, and we want to see if we can extract or find some of the derivatives of the 3-letter verb as we've talked about. But in this video, we're going to work on taking a verb or taking verbs and moving them through those different forms that we talked about. Okay? So the different forms that we've talked about, we start with the fi'l. Yeah, and then we have the fa'il, wazn fa'il, wazn maf'ul, wazn maf'al or mif'al, maf'il, which is for a place or time. Fa'il is for a doer, maf'ul is for the object, maf'al, place or time, and then the ism, what is the noun that comes from that verb. Alright, so let's see who's going to join us today from the verbs. We have Shariba, which means he drank. Sami'a, which means he tasted or ate. Jama'a, he collected. Amila, he did or he worked. And Sami'a, he heard. So those are the verbs that we want to use here today. So the first thing we want to do is to change Shariba. We want to change that to the fa'il form for wazn al-fa'il. Yeah. And as you can see there on top how we do that, we add the alif after the fa'ul fi'l, we put a kesra on the ainul fi'l, and we put a we're going to put dhammatan on the lamul fi'l, and so that's going to give us sharibun. Yeah, but we said the way we're going to pronounce that is sharib. We're going to drop that tanween at the end because we said the vowel sound that falls on the final letter of a word, if we stop on that word, then it goes unpronounced. So we would say sharib. Now sharib would be a drinker of whatever. Yeah. So anyone who drinks would be sharib, whether it's a human being, whether it's a horse or any other animal. If they're engaged in the act of drinking, then it would be a sharib. Sorry, didn't mean to show you that. Alright, so the next form we have is maf'ul. So we're going to take Shariba, and we're going to add the meme with a fatha before the fa'ul fi'l, and then we're going to put a sukoon on the fa'ul fi'l, so that gives us mesh, and then we're going to take the ainul fi'l, which is the ra, we're going to put a dhamma on it, mashru, elongate that with the wow, mashru, and then we're going to end that with a the ba with dhammatan, mashroob. Yeah, so a mashroob is something that is drunk. So here it would be something that's drunk is a drink. So a mashroob is a drink. You could say, for example, a carbonated drink or beverage would be mashroob ghazi. Mashroob ghaz, or ghazin, or ghazi, as you want to pronounce that. Yeah. Ghaz being gas or carbonation, or however you want to say that. Yeah. So we have mashroob. Mashroob is a drink. It's the thing that receives the action of being drunk. Don't get drunk here in English, and that's an important. You got to make the distinctions between Arabic and English words. We don't mean drunk and intoxicated. That's a whole different verb here. Yeah. Mashroob means it's drunk and it's a liquid or similar to a liquid that's been ingested. Now, the place where someone drinks, a fountain or something like that, that would be what? We said it's going to be different to the maf'ul, but we're going to take off that dhamma and we're going to put a fatha and we're going to take off that waw. Yeah? So we get mashrab. Yeah, in Surah Al-Baqarah, when Allah talks about Banu Israel, one of the things He says, قَدْ عَلِمَ كُلُّ أُنَاسٍ مَشْرَبَهُمْ. Every tribe or every person knew his place to drink. Mashrab, a place where drinking occurs. And then the noun that we have here is shurb. Yeah, shurb. Shurb is drinking. Is drinking. Next, the next verb that we have is ta'ima. We said ta'ima means to taste, or it could also mean to eat. Yeah, different from akala. You can have ta'ima as well. The person or the doer, the one who engages in the act of eating or tasting, would be, we're going to put the alif after the fa'ul fi'l. We want to put a kasra on the ainul fi'l. And then we want to put a dhammatan on the lamul fi'l. So that would give us what? Ta'im. Yeah, we get ta'im. And in Surah Al-Ma'idah, Allah commands the Prophet to say, قُلْ لَا أَجِدُ فِي مَا أُوحِيَ إِلَيَّ مُحَرَّمٌ عَلَى طَاعِمٍ يَطْعَمُهُ عَلَى طَاعِمٍ يَطْعَمُهُ. Yani on someone who eats, to eat. I don't find anything impermissible for someone to eat, except for, and then he lists those things. So ta'im is a word. You can find that word in the Quran. And that's another good thing to do is, if you look a word up or you're playing with a word or you're putting in different schemes, get yourself a dictionary or a book of sorts that you can use to look words up. There are searches on some of the apps related to the Quran. Why don't you look those words up? See if they actually happen in the Quran or not. Do I have a book here? No, I don't see my book here. I have a book that's a concordance for Quranic terms, but I don't see it here behind me. Yeah, I'll see if we can get a copy of that. Wait, there it is. All right, so we have Al-Mu'jam Al-Mufahras. Yeah, Al-Mu'jam Al-Mufahras li-Alfaz Al-Quran Al-Kareem. Yeah, so that's what we have here. If we look inside the book, you can see that they give you all the different places that a word has been used in the Quran. So very nice resource to have, especially as your language is growing and developing. So I'm glad we had that here. Yeah. The next word that we have here would be the ism maf'ul. Again, we're going to add the mim with a fatha. We're going to put a sukoon on the fa'ul fi'l, which here would be the ta. We're going to put a dhamma on the ainul fi'l, which would give us mat'u. We're going to follow that with a waw for elongation purposes. And then we're going to put dhammatan on the lamul fi'l, which here is the mim. So we get mat'um. Mat'um. So mat'um would be eaten or tasted or so on. Yeah, that's what we would get there. It's receive the action of eating or tasting. The next word that we get, or the next word that we're looking for, is the place or the time where eating happens. And I'm sure you know this word, especially if you're presently residing in an Arabic-speaking country. Yeah. So, again, we're going to take away the dhamma off of the ainul fi'l, which here actually happens to be an ayn. We're also going to remove that waw, and on the ainul fi'l, we're going to put a fatha, and it gives us mat'am. There you go. Mat'am. Mat'am is a restaurant, a place where tasting and eating happens. And then the last thing, we have the ism for ta'ima, and that's going to be ta'am. So the ta'am is the taste of the food, the taste that the food has. We call it ta'am. Ta'amuhu mur. Its taste is bitter. Ta'amuhu hulu. Its taste is sweet. Yeah, so ta'am. Next we have Jama'a, and Jama'a means to, or we said means he collected. So the ism, the fa'il would be one who collects. It would be a collector. Yeah. So how are we going to make that? Again, we're going to put the alif after the fa'ul fi'l, which happens here to be the jim. We're going to put a kesra on the ainul fi'l, which happens to be a mim, and then we're going to put dhammatan on the lamul fi'l, which happens to be a ayn here. So we have jami'. In Surah An-Nisa, إن الله جامع المنافقين والكافرين في جهنم جميعا. Allah will collect the hypocrites and the disbelievers in Jahannam together. In Surah An-Nisa, jami'. Yeah. Also for the ism maf'ul, something that collection happens to, then it would be a collection or a gathering or a group. So again, we would take the meme with a fatha. We're going to add a sukoon to the fa'ul fi'l and a dhamma to the ainul fi'l, which here happens to be the meme. The fa'ul fi'l is the jim. So we have majmu', and then the lamul fi'l, which is the ayn, we're going to put dhammatan, and we have here majmu'a. So a majmu'a is a collection. For example, the collection of fatawa, for example, Ibn Taymiyyah, is Majmu' al-Fatawa. Majmu' al-Fatawa. Majmu' al-Fatawa, the collection of rulings. A place where things collected, or a time where things are collected. Let's see if you can figure that one out. Again, it's going to be similar to the maf'ul, but we're going to take away the dhamma and we're going to take away the waw that was used to elongate it. We're going to place that with a fatha, so we get majma'. I'm not even pulling these up. So we have jami', majmu', and then we have majma'. Sorry about that. Yeah, we have majma'. So a majma' would be a place where things are collected, a collecting station or collecting area, or something of the sort. And then the ism for Jama'a would be jam'un. A jam' would be again a collection or collecting. Yeah. The next one we have is Amila. Amila. Amila means he worked or he did. So the person who works, a worker, see if you can figure that one out. It would be what? That's right, amil. We have amil. The same format. You're seeing the same form here. Fa'il happening over and over again. And then something that has been worked, or work that has been completed, or something that has been done, because we said amila means work, or amila also means do, so something done is, can you figure that one out? Ma'mul. That's right. So those little date biscuits, those little date cookies, or whatever you want to call those little, those who live in Arab countries, you know what I'm talking about, those little date cookies or whatever, then those are called, if you wanted to translate them in English, they would be called duns. Yeah, you just have a dun with some coffee, or a dun with some tea. So a ma'mul, it's done. Yeah? Or work, you can call it work. Maybe the one who cooks it would like to call it work because of all the slaving they did to put it together. Grinding and meshing and baking. It's work or it's done. Either of those words you could use if you want to translate it literally. A place where work happens or work is done or things are done. A workshop, a factory. How would we say that? A ma'mal. Yeah, a ma'mal. A ma'mal could also be a lab. That's also where things are done, a laboratory. But also a workshop and a factory could be a ma'mal. Ma'mal. And then the ism you should be familiar with. وَعَمِلَ عَمَلًا صَالِحًا. So it would be amal. Amal is work. Amal would be work. Yeah, someone is looking for أَنَا أَبْحَثُ عَنْ عَمَل. And I'm looking for work. The last one we have here in this collection is Sami'a. So we have Sami'a, which means he heard. A person or one who hears, who participates in the action of hearing, would be Sami'. And then whatever hearing happens to, the sound or the voice or whatever that is heard would be مسموع. Heard would be مسموع. The place where hearing happens, would be, theoretically, I'm not sure if there's when I looked it up in the Hands-Word Dictionary, what it mentioned was an ear's distance, or within an ear's reach. Then that would be, can you guess that one? Within an ear's reach or an ear's distance, that would be masma'. Yeah? Lam yakun fi masma'i. It wasn't within, it wasn't in listening distance. And then huwa alladhi khalaqakum wa ja'ala lakum as-sama' wal absar wal afida. Sama' would be the ism. Huwa alladhi ansha'akum. Naam, huwa alladhi ansha'akum wa ja'ala lakum as-sama' wal absar wal afida. That's in Surah Al-Mulk. Yeah, and with that we've completed our chart here of practice for different verbs falling into each of those forms. Feel free to watch this again over and over again, but I just want you to notice the consistency that you see in each of these columns. You can even almost notice a bit of consistency with the ism for ta'am, or for ta'ima, and for amila, and for sami'a. You have ta'mun, fa'alun, jam'un, and sam'un. So you see there's even some consistency there. I hope you found this class beneficial, and we look forward to the next class in the very near future. Thank you very much for listening.